Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Industrial Faith. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Factorial Forex, your 15-minute factorial fix. This is Season 3, Episode 37. That's right, 37 of these bad boys. Absolutely nuts. But what I'm doing here is I'm taking apart what was going to be the steel. I realized I put it together this way, it's not expandable enough. I can't. For example, I know I always say, well, I can't imagine what kind of factory you need if you're using, or what kind of factory you have if you're using blue belts. But I've been watching some other YouTubers do their thing. The ones I always talk about, you know the ones. Anyways, and they're running blue belts, and they have ridiculously long electric furnace chains like that. So I'm realizing if I set them up the way I had them, I would not really be able to expand my steel the way I'd like. So I just pulled it down, I know, I'm setting it back up again. That's, one of the hazards of still being new to the game, admittedly. Still very new to the game. This being Season 3, I'm technically 37 hours in. I've done 2 other series, so of course the first series was a rather sad comedy of errors, but it was enjoyable for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but some people are watching it, and they did watch it, so some of them enjoyed it. So what I'm also trying to do is figure out how I'm supposed to balance the ore out, and this is something that'll probably vex me for a while, because I'm going to use every piece of iron ore that I can. Look at them go. That's so pretty. And try to balance it as best I can. So what I'm going to do is the first 3 are going to be, the first 3 are just going to be iron. I'm going to have iron ore up on the top 3. That's it. The bottom 3, or the bottom 2, are going to be steel. And that's it. And with any luck, now I'm pretty sure I'll be able to really extend the steel pretty far out, because steel takes longer to make than iron. So I'm probably going to be able to have a lot more furnaces pushing iron plate, pushing iron plate into the steel. So, that being said, we're going to go around the Victory Monument, because, well, I want to keep them there. And we're also going to place them, and, yeah, take that rock. So, and then we're going to put the steel on, and, I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Now you may be asking why I'm not starting all this yet. And the reason I'm not starting is I don't want to start the big pollution factory until I have my defenses in place. Now I realize that seems a bit cautious, but this is going to be a very, very big undertaking. And I'm not really interested in having one flank wide open to biters. At some point I'm actually going to go out and do a little teeny tiny bit of base busting. Now I'm pulling that apart because I don't need to push iron back into the base, so I'm using it as a personal quick transport back to the base while I'm doing iron and steel. So anyways, yeah, it's a little cautious, but it's just the way I want to do it. So if I'm going to be building a big giant base, I would rather be very undisturbed the whole time. So, by the way, I'm going to hit a lot of stuff, so get your drinks ready, ladies and gentlemen. If you're playing the Industrial Faith driving game. And that's when I noticed all the laser turrets were unpowered, which meant everything up north was unpowered, which means nothing was getting done. And gosh, I just want to finish this. My giant moat of freedom. So another reason I'm really looking forward to getting the moat built is I have some 300 or so laser turrets eating power. Just on standby, they're eating power. And at some point I look at it and like just the turrets on standby, not actually shooting, are using some 13 megawatts. And it's ridiculous. So I want to get rid of as many of these laser turrets. Hell, there we go. I would drink. I would much rather there be the lasers sitting in turrets waiting to be used. than have to than eat the power. So I don't have any light oil at all. And it's not a big deal because I'm really not making a lot. I believe here I'm going to reactivate my my blue circuit production because I don't need it for science, so everything's there. I know I do it, I'm not exactly sure. Excuse me. I'm not exactly sure when. Yeah, I think this is going to be it. I'm looking, I'm like, what's going on? I don't have any blue circuits. Why don't I have blue circuits? I have no green circuits. Now I have green circuits. Now I am halfway tempted at this point to redirect all the blue circuits into making efficiency modules, but I'm really not anywhere near ready for them, although I should. I really should, because soon I'm going to be driving like a maniac. Drink! And I'm going to be setting up a whole lot of, what's the best way to put it? A ton of mining drills, especially because because I'm going to have to set up the copper, and yeah, they're eating my victory monument, the bastards. Biters, I hate you. So now I've got to now I'm going to go ahead, and there's the other part of the big moat. Bloop, 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 and I'm full of wood. Oh well. Black Pinocchio. So this will be pretty easy to put together. It's a very, very small, and that yeah. So that's me being dumb. Anyways, when I got rid of all the trees, I accidentally selected the box that I was storing wood in to be disassembled as well, and that caused a few issues, so to speak. So now I'm gonna have to fill these little lakes in. I think I don't have any landfill on me, nor do I have any stone. And here I'm really getting everything out of the way. So. A part of me is also thinking, well, I'm going to have to start extending this. And by extending, I mean I'm going to have to extend the railroad, the tracks. So, who knows? Yeah, I cannot wait to have all this be my territory, then and get rid of all these cannons and walls. And now what I should do is leave one defensive emplacement up, just in case something happens, because we're at 99.2 byte revolution, and at some point I have to clear out some bases up to the north so I can start building the infrastructure for the moat up to the north. And there's some green biters up there, and they're freaking monsters. Drink! Oh, I hit something man-made, so I believe, but I didn't destroy it. So two drinks, right? Yeah. This is probably why I'm better off walking in this game. So now I need to figure out where do I want the moat to stop. And this is going to PO me to death because there's so many trees in the way. And I'm just like, I'm getting rid of all of them. Because that's what you do. Now, the thing I don't like is that if you don't, that thing has to power up before you can see where its zone of construction is. Oh, that's what it is. The green is construction limit. Orange is supply limit. So the logistic robots actually have a shorter range than the construction robots, which I think is kind of interesting. So here I realize I have everything way too far out there. And this is just me getting ready for the final leg of this. Nothing special, nothing interesting or weird. Just, I mean, you know, to me, everything's weird in this, but. So there we go. That's the wall. And I'm just moving that back a little because, well, I want to. Yeah, that's it, because I want to. So, and there we go. We're cranking away. I'm going to take some of these. And that's what's interesting about this whole thing I'm doing. Everything is sort of reusable. I can just I can move stuff from place to place to place. Now, it would probably be a lot harder. Oh, right now I'm looking at the copper lines. Where do I want to run copper? Look at all those gun emplacements that I can just get rid of. That's so much power being wasted. Unfortunately, you can't put efficiency modules in laser turrets, but wouldn't that be interesting if you could? So I'm just driving here. I'm like, all right, where am I going to set this stuff up? Ooh, I almost hit that tree. How'd you like that? So because I'm going to start putting together. I'm going to start putting together assemblers, but in the meantime, I'm just going to tear down a lot of walls that I don't need. The south is safe. We are good. I tell you what, when right there before the train went by, I paused because I said, I hope the train doesn't come by, and the train came by. I almost, well, let's just say it was keeping my sphincter in shape, that little incident. I think you know what I mean. So here I start putting down the copper smelters. I'm only going to put 3. Spoiler alert. I only put 3 down because that's really all that I need. I mean, and again, because they're electric, I'm going to, if I need to, I can put blue on them, or blue belts, and I should be able to really supercharge their production. And here I'm out of red belts and inserters and all that other crap. You know, 19 million things. And I get on my little personal train. This is so cool. I love zipping around on that train. You know, just me. Just me on the train. Now I've got a little web camera hooked up here. I did some Twitch streams because they were kind of interesting. I think I'm going to start streaming some Fallout 4 just because I'm not playing the game like others. I actually have a save where all I'm doing is building settlements. That's it. I'm doing nothing else. I'm sure I mentioned it before, and I need to get going on that again because it's fun, but I've been kind of looking forward to when am I going to do it, and I'm also sort of, well, I also want to do some streaming, see how that goes. So that's me goofing around with the train because I didn't get off the train before I started moving it. There's a part of me that cannot wait to get all this stuff running and working because I'm tired of running around. I want to build the factory really bad. Or I want to build the rocket factory and just get that cranking away. So, and I didn't like how these came out. So, you know, aesthetics. Enemy at Steel looks a little goofy, and I'm just like, forget it. I just said I'm done. I'm going to do it this way. It's fairly functional, and that's me kind of going, how far do I want to... I was debating using a very small train to move the ore, or to move the copper plate. But as you can see, it's actually not that far. I mean, it's far, but it's not that far. So it's one of those things I just wasn't sure. Do I go ahead and do a little goofy train? I mean, I was really tempted to just have this little train go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I'm tempted. I am tempted to to not speak English. I am tempted to put together a bunch of little trains. For example, taking copper over to the oil processing. So, or taking coal, excuse me, over to the oil processing center so I can make sulfur. No, coal to make plastic, excuse me, and stuff like that. So I'm kind of debating doing little trains here and there, but I'm really not. I really don't think I will. As much fun as they are, I think belts will suffice, especially once I start putting together blue belts. And I anticipate I'm going to have a need for blue belts fairly quickly. In fact, these probably should be using blue belts, but I'm trying to build a balancer here, and I'm trying to see how that goes. But ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping it up. Thank you for joining me for the latest episode of Factorial Forex, your 15-minute Factorial Fix. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. So you have a good night, and bye-bye.